let's start talking about cryptocurrency. But before we talk about cryptocurrency, we sort of need to understand fiat money. Uh, so fiat currency, right? Not sure how many of you would know this term, but fiat currency is actually the common term used for all the currencies like USD, INR, Euro, which are only and only backed by government guarantee and no other things, right? So in case of INR, for instance, there is like we have about 168 lakh crore rupees in circulation, okay, digital and notes altogether. But most of us, in fact, my parents themselves, they thought that all of this money is actually backed by gold, which is not the case. India only has like 1.8 lakh crore worth of gold, and we have about 35 lakh crore worth of forex. Forex includes US dollars, euros, Japanese yen, and other currencies. So imagine this, we have 168 lakh crore in circulation, but that money is only and only backed by the government, in the sense that the government says that this note is valid, so it is valid. And we all know the 2016 case of demonetization, when overnight some notes became invalid, right? So that is the essence of fiat money, and every currency in the world is almost a fiat money. US dollars the most, right? We have seen that the government is now printing trillions and trillions of dollars to boost the economy in the US. So that's fiat money. Now that we have sort of cleared fiat money, let's understand why fiat money caused some problems, and also why Bitcoin was necessary. And since Bitcoin actually was created in 2008, 2009, the biggest reason for it to be created was the subprime crisis, the recession as we know it. This presentation was actually prepared before COVID-19 happened. So COVID-19 is another recession that we are getting into. But this 2008 subprime crisis that happened when, the housing loans in the US actually there was a bailout required for almost $1.5 trillion in the US. And we realized that the governments are simply going to print money, and nobody's going to stop them. And the purchasing power of your money is going to be less and less and less every passing year. So I used to buy like a 5 rupee Dairy Milk chocolate that used to be this big. And now I don't think a 5 rupee Dairy Milk chocolate comes nowadays, right? So that's the purchasing power that we've lost, and we keep losing. And that is why financial planners such as Bhuwana here or Kajal here are going to tell you to diversify and invest in real estate and stocks and mutual funds and all of those, so that your wealth does not deteriorate. Your money's value does not deteriorate, right? So if inflation is like 5% per year, then your income should be at least 10%, right? Or 20%, so that your money keeps growing. With that, keeping that in mind, we realized that actually, you know what, before I go to this, one more thing. We realized that there is unlimited amount of money that can be printed. So there has to be something. Like, why do we care about gold? Because gold is essentially virtually limited. Okay, you can only have a certain amount of gold in the world. That's why gold is considered to be one of the most precious metals and one of the best investments. Indians would know actually gold investment, right? So we realized the need for countering unlimited printing of money. We realized the need for countering inflation. How do we stop that? And then we also have started realizing that banks are not really trustworthy. If you really look at it, as I was growing up, my granddad was like, "Tere paise bank mein rakha gaya, keep your money in the bank." But now I don't want to keep my money in the bank, because tomorrow, if a bank like Yes Bank or if a bank like PMC Bank is going to be caught in a scandal, the RBI can actually stop the banks from giving me my own money. So you can see the two headlines that I have on screen, right? Yes Bank had a 50,000 rupees withdrawal limit, and a lot of businesses got affected. Like PhonePe uses Yes Bank, their business was affected. A lot of other payment processors that we work with actually uses Yes Bank, their business got affected. We still hear stories about people crying about their money in PMC Bank, right? They could not withdraw it. So we really think that even the money that you have is not safe in the banks. Cash is the best solution you have to keep the money safe, but cash, value of cash deteriorates, as we discussed earlier. So what else can we have? That's why we need Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin sort of is world's first cryptocurrency, and also the underlying technology is called a blockchain technology, and which is world's first blockchain network. Now, what does Bitcoin do, right? First of all, you don't need to trust the bank. You can send Bitcoin to anybody in the world without having to sort of trust any third party. Right now, if I want to transfer money to Bhuvana, I will have to make a bank transfer, and there will be someone sitting in between, like the bank servers, which will make note and make the transfer, right? But if I want to send Bitcoin to her, I just need her address and I can send it from my wallet. That Bitcoin does not belong to the bank. Nobody can seize it. It's with me. So we remove that third party from between. We remove that middleman from between. Now we remove the middleman, but who is going to verify that I have Bitcoin in my wallet and I'm sending that Bitcoin to Bhuvana and she's getting it?
Yeah.
We need someone to verify that transaction, right? So Bitcoin network is essentially considered, you must have heard these terms many times, distributed and decentralized. What it means is that while we remove the central authority, while we remove the banks, middlemen, somebody has to govern the network. Who governs the network is people like you and me. We run a computer algorithm, which is called mining, and we actually hold the copy of the entire database of Bitcoin. And we ensure that the transactions that are going from one place to another are actually valid. So millions and millions of computers in the world are actually continuously verifying the transactions that are made on Bitcoin network. Not one person, millions of computers taking care of it. Okay. What happens when there is not one authority, but there are millions of computers checking your transactions? You can't hack a million computers, right? So that made Bitcoin one of the best currencies which cannot be hacked. Your bank account can be hacked, but Bitcoin cannot be hacked, right? We remove the middleman, so nobody can actually freeze your account. You own your own money. You have your own assets with you, right? So that's the essence of it. Now, one more thing, why it is sort of, why it is competing against the rupees or the fiat currency. Because as I said before, the governments can print unlimited amount of money, but Bitcoin has a limit. There can only be 21 million. 2.1 crore Bitcoins in the world. And every time randomly a miner, so whoever is just million computers that are verifying the transactions, I will try to simplify it because this is not important right now. But one of these computers in the world, the million computers, are able to sort of solve a mathematical problem and are rewarded with new Bitcoins. So new Bitcoins are created, and we call that process mining, because with gold, we have to like mine properly, khudai karni padti hai to take out gold. In this case, this computer has to solve a mathematical problem, and that's why they are rewarded with new Bitcoins. And this reward of creation of new Bitcoins is actually halved every 4 years. So in 2008, for every 10 minutes, one person or one computer used to get 50 Bitcoins. Then in 2012, every 10 minutes, the reward became 25 Bitcoins. In 2016, it became 12.5 Bitcoins. In 2020, May, it became 6.25 Bitcoins. So every 10 minutes, 6.25 new Bitcoins are generated, and it is distributed amongst the people who are maintaining this network. And eventually, the 2.1 crore Bitcoins will be completely available to people, or completely mined. By our calculations, it will be 2140, which is 120 years from now.
Oh. Okay,
so until then,
yeah. No, just being with Bitcoin, just one, right? There could be more like.
Yeah, there are more cryptocurrencies. We'll come to that. I will tell you. But Bitcoin was the first, and right now it's actually the market dominance of Bitcoin is around 65%. So everything else is sort of behind Bitcoin, and it was generated after Bitcoin. But for now, Bitcoin is this cryptocurrency, the first cryptocurrency, right?